about the statue is that it was a work in progress. I didn't have any reason to steal Rodin's statue.
I'm more interested in the machine that's running it.
At
Rodan.
first glance, Rodin looked like a typical sculptor. On closer examination, I decided he was much less. You wouldn't happen to be Rodin, would you?
Ah, I know that
Hello.
one. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Oh, this is going to be a fun one.
Time?
Yes. Yes, I think I am Rodin. How can I be sure?
Beats me. I had a note from my mother the day they did philosophy at school.
You must conceive form in depth.
Why?
Do you know, I don't remember.
It figures.
What do you make of this?
I stared at the statue he was working on. Face to face with art, we shuffle our feet and apologize. We say, I don't know much about art, but I know what I like. Well, most people do. I can't even say I know what I like. But that's not the point. The point is that if knowing what you like is good enough for shoes and drinks and women, what's wrong with applying the same rule to art? I guess people don't like to look stupid. Personally, I think art's for guys who couldn't do basic maths.
Do you like
Okay.
it?
Well, I don't know much about art. Sometimes I could be such a coward.
Talky
So you're a
talky.
sculptor, then.
Yes. Yes.
Oh dear.
I'm reasonably sure I am. Something like that, anyway.
Why do I get the feeling that you aren't going to be much good at small talk?
Notebook time. Let's just work through it methodically.
Do you know anything about a man named Mundy?
This is going to be a slow one, I can tell.
Yeah. Where do I know that name from?
Oh, really?
It wasn't hard to lose patience with Rodin. Every day probably took him by complete surprise. Do you know anything about the Milka?
This is going to be a long, slow conversation.
Ooh. That's familiar.
Rodin wasn't good at remembering details like his name or my name or what year it was.
This is going to be fun. Carlotta.
What do you know about a woman named Carlotta?
Yeah. Where do I know that name from?
It wasn't hard to lose patience with Rodin. Every day probably took him by complete surprise.
Inquisitive stranger.
Has there been a dwarf around asking questions?
Ooh. That's familiar.
Excuse
Rodin
me.
wasn't good at remembering details like his name or my name or what year it was.
Malachite. You must know
Do you know
Malachite.
a troll named Malachite?
Malachite. Malachite.
He works for you.
Sounds familiar.
Come on, he works for
Your
you.
own time.
I think he works for me. He
Yes.
did work for me.
No.
No, I think he must still work for me. Look, there he is over there.
Useful to know.
Do you know anyone named Therma?
Yeah. Where do I know that name from?
Oh, you
It
don't.
wasn't hard to lose patience with Rodan. Every day probably took him by complete surprise.
Bear with me, guys. I've got to go through the rest of
Do you know
this.
a woman named Ilsa or a man named Two Conquers?
Yeah. Where do I know that name from?
It wasn't hard to lose patience with Rodan. Every day probably took him by complete surprise.
Nearly done.
You wouldn't happen to know anything about the recent murders, would you?
Oh, murders. Yes.
Do you?
Oh.
Guess not.
Murders. When people are killed.
No. Don't know anything about that. Sorry.
Oh, that was useful. Getting my hopes up like that. Madam
Have
Lodestone.
you heard of a troll named Madame Lodestone?
Another he just asked it in resignation.
Lodestone, the fount of all relief. Relief.
Eh?
Relief to be observed and not outlined. Relief tours determination. That's the main thing. To hope, tremble, to be drunk. It's a man's life in the imperial artists.
You're not making any sense.
Sorry.
I guess that's it then. That was a whole heap of uselessness, but we'll try 'em with these
Tempting as
things.
it was, I decided not to start attacking people with the crowbar. Can you read this?
I really don't think I know anything about that.
Okay, try 'em with the scrap of paper.
Does this mean anything to you?
Ooh. That's familiar.
Rodan wasn't good at remembering details like his name or my name or what year it was.
Well, I guess I'm done with this guy then. Goodbye.
I guess you'd better get back to your work.
Let's go this way. Oh, it is malachite. Hello there. What have we got here? Grapple. Oh,
For
hello.
some reason, there was a grappling iron on the floor near malachite. I couldn't have been more interested in it, even if it had plot device written across it in large letters. I don't know why I thought stealing the grapple would be easier than talking to malachite. It wasn't.
Malachite.
Malachite was the biggest troll I'd ever seen. Actually, malachite was the biggest living thing I'd ever seen, and possibly the dumbest, too. You're a tough troll to find, malachite. You could say something. Okay, so I'll do the talking. So how you been keeping, malachite?
That's what he says.
Okay, I guess you don't want to talk about that. This where you're staying at the moment? I guess you're not going to talk about that either. Heard any good jokes recently? How many trolls does it take to change a lamp wick? Want me to give you a clue?
Oh, let's try him. Go through the usual stuff. Back to the beginning. Monday.
Do you know anything about a man named Mundy? Malachite was as talkative as a corpse, and only slightly more attractive.
Milka.
Do you know anything about the Milka? Malachite listened to what I said, but said nothing. He wasn't what you'd call the prince of repartee.
Okay, this is going to be another long conversation. Carlotta.
What do you know about a woman named Carlotta? Malachite was as talkative as a corpse, and only slightly more attractive.
Quiz the stranger.
Has there been a dwarf around asking questions? Malachite listened to what I said, but said nothing. He wasn't what you'd call the prince of repartee.
Malachite.
There didn't seem much point in asking Malachite about himself. He wasn't likely to say anything useful. Frankly, he wasn't likely to say anything. It was looking like the only way to get through to this guy was with a chisel.
Therma.
It'd be really useful if you could tell me something about Therma that I could use to find her.
Find
Therma. Find Therma.
Yes, I know that part, but I need some leads if I'm going to find her.
Find Therma.
Malachite wasn't being very helpful, but he was tall and threatening, so I guess everyone has something going for them.
Also in
Do
Two
you know a
Conquers.
woman named Ilsa or a man named Two Conquers? Malachite was as talkative as a corpse, and only slightly more attractive.
Mysterious murders.
Do you know anything about the recent murders in Ankh-Morpork? Malachite listened to what I said, but said nothing. He wasn't what you'd call the prince of repartee.
What, Madame Lodestone?
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I think Therma might be dead. Her house collapsed. She's been gone a while. Are you going to say something?
Need to see the body.
The body?
Find Therma. Need to see body.
Okay.
Okay, the body. No problem. Sheesh. I wasn't about... He'd crush me like a bug and barely notice. Hello again, Malachite. No, don't say anything. I know how you'd love to talk, but I'd hate for you to wear out that beautiful voice of yours.
Can I just crack him with a crowbar?
Tempting as it was, I decided not to start attacking people with the crowbar. Can you read this?
Don't know nothing about that.
Okay. Let's go out. Let's see, let's regroup. I need to find Therma's body for him. Let's go to... I don't suppose anybody here knows anything about it.
Hello again. Hello.
Worth a shot.
Have you ever heard of a troll by the name of Madame Lodestone? Madame Lodestone? No, there's a name I've not heard
Oh.
in quite a while.
Okay.
You know her then? Well, no, but I've heard of her. She died in some sort of construction mishap. A mishap, Nobby. Whatever.
Bishop.
Anyway, if memory serves, they put her body in the Salachi mausoleum. Don't know how she ended up in such an exclusive establishment, but that's how I heard it. That doesn't sound very likely. You did ask.
Cool. Yay! I can't remember how long it took me to make progress on this last time.
Catch you later, Nobby. Like measles, maybe. Or athlete's foot.
Let's go visit the Salachi Mausoleum. I thought that was something else. I thought that was a stadium. Never mind.
The Salachi family mausoleum was one of the most beautiful buildings I'd ever
Oh,
seen.
wow.
Nestled in an upmarket part of the city of Ankh.
That's impressive.
It was unguarded because, quite frankly, no one in their right mind would do anything to offend the Salachi family, given their ties to the Assassin's Guild. It
Yeah,
wasn't
that
just
makes
something
sense.
that wasn't done. It was also something that wasn't survived.
That makes sense.
The Salachi family mausoleum was full of tombs. More chambers, annexes, vaults, sepulchres, and catacombs than a thesaurus. I tried to find Therma's grave, but it was a waste of time. You'd need to be an expert in heraldry or genealogy to even begin to navigate around it. I'll say this for the nobility. They keep their dead well indexed.
let's go back to my office. Who are you?
On an ordinary night, I'd sit around waiting for business. But this night, business was coming to me, and bringing trouble with it. Business, I didn't mind. But trouble was an unwelcome guest. And like all unwelcome guests, it was hard to ask it to leave. And by the third day, it was generally wearing your shirts and leaving its stuff in your bathroom.
Hello, Mr. Luton. I've been expecting you.
I should hope so. This is my office. How'd you get in?
Through the door. It was
Makes
only
sense.
locked. I know all about doors.
Good. Use this one to get out.
I have a message for you, Mr. Luton.
I don't take messages from strangers.
Then let me introduce myself. My name is Mr. Al-Khali.
I don't take messages from dwarves named after cities.
My name isn't important.
You seem to think it was.
I've come to warn you to stay clear of the Mundy case.
I'll bear that in mind. Now get out.
If you don't stay clear of the Mundy case, something untoward may happen to you.
This is Ankh-Morpork. Something untoward may happen to me whether I investigate this case or not. Now either you get out or I'll throw you out.
Don't say I didn't warn you, Mr. Luton.
Don't say I didn't ignore you, Mr. Al-Khali. A dwarf named after the Klatchian city of Al-Khali. And a threat. This case was getting more interesting by the minute. All we needed was a troll and a member of the undead, and we could open an ethnic comedy on Broadway.
Where do I get my inventory? Ah, that's how you do it. I've forgotten how you do it.
The dwarf had tried to threaten me off the Mundy case. I knew right from the start that he knew more than he was telling me. Nobby had told me that there were some mysterious murders in Ankh-Morpork. I wanted to find where Therma was buried in the Salachi family mausoleum, but I needed someone who knew their way around a place like that. I knew the streets, but high society family trees were like women, complex and incomprehensible.
Well, let's go out. Cafe Ankh. I guess. Not got any better ideas at the moment. It's a place where people gather. Is there anybody here I can talk to? Nope, she's still there. Oh, I might as well try
You came
her.
back.
I'm not staying. You wouldn't happen to know your way around the Salachi family mausoleum by any chance?
I'm sorry, Luton. I don't know anything about that.
Madam Lodestone?
Have you heard of a singer named Madame Lodestone?
I've not met them. Sorry.
Okay, that didn't go well.
Hello again.
Hello yourself.
Don't suppose you know anything about them, but it's worth a shot.
Have you heard of a singer named Madame Lodestone?
There's no one I know.
You wouldn't happen to know your way around the Salachi family mausoleum by any chance?
Worth a shot.
I'm afraid I can't really help you with that.
Worth a shot.
I'll see you around, Captain.
Don't suppose Shamma knows anything.
I decided not to disturb Samael while he was working.
Okay. Oh, so I thought your name was Samael. I thought your name was Shamel. Luton's office, Rodan's workshop, Pseudopolis, Octarine. Maybe there's something else I can be doing at this alongside this. I'll ignore you and go straight to Malachite.
Hello again, Malachite. No, don't say. I know.
I noticed the grappling hook's gone now.
Do you know anything about the Salaci mausoleum? Hello? Hello? Maybe this is a time to take no reply for an answer. Always a pleasure talking at you, Malachite.
Just talking at you. Oh, you can't walk past the geometry. Just have a quick wander around. Don't think so. Pier 5? No. Octarine Parrot?
Why must I be so blue?
I'll wait for her to finish the NASCAR. It's doubtful, but you never know.
Your rugged features, frightened screeches. The minute you walk through
The stage where it made me.
could see you're a troll of destruction. Sandstone eyes, marbled feet. Crunch my hand whenever we meet. Why don't you chuck a stone? Take me home. Well, you're my favorite slab of quality granite. Roughly shaped. My baby would
Is she still going?
piece of slate. He's rock hard.
There was nothing I could do with this.
Skin like sandpaper. Baby, there's no one greater.
Wow.
Good to see you again, Sapphire.
Feelings neutral, I'm sure.
You wouldn't happen to know your way around the Salaci family mausoleum by any chance?
Wouldn't know anything about that.
Worth a shot.
I'll be back.
Cafe Ank, Rodon's workshop. Well, let's stop here for now. Come back to this afterwards. I'm sure there's something here. How did this work?
I'd heard that Therma sang under the stage name of Madame I'd also heard that she was dead. I only bought the...
Interesting. Anything else I've learned? Alkali. Okay, that's a lead to follow up on.
The dwarf had tried to threaten me off the Mundy case. I knew right from the start that he knew more than he was telling me.
That's probably what I'll follow up on next time then.